Hello everybody and welcome to part 3 in the Build the USS Enterprise D series. Yep, so I had another shipment just the other day with the third magazine and the next batch of components to build up the Enterprise. So we've got stages 7, 8, 9 and 10 here. Yeah, that's how numbers work, obviously. We also got one of the sort of free gifts, which was this really cool print, which I'll get a better photo of this later. But we've got this really nice little print here, which sort of shows the Enterprise D and has all of the various components labelled, which I think is really nice. So I won't waste too much time talking about it. I guess I'll briefly mention kind of what we've done so far. So if you'll remember, for those of you who watched the previous one, in the last part we started to build up some of the side panels, like that, and that one there. We also built up a little part of the deflector, and we started to build some of the ship's skeleton, and we've got another part of the ship's skeleton to build in this one. You can see how big it's going to be. We also, in the last part, built up a little bit more of the top of the saucer section, which you can see there. Oh, and to anyone who pointed out in the last two videos that my bridge was on the wrong way around, I've now corrected that, as you can see. And the only sort of other major thing from the very first video is we did part of the nacelle. And also, in the last video, we got the chance to actually test the lights for the first time, which looked absolutely great. However, I did notice there was a problem with my battery box, so I've had to contact Eagle Moss about that to get a replacement battery box. So anyway, I think I've rambled on a little bit too much about it. Let's have a look at the magazine itself and the next few stages. So stage 7 is that there, so we get a bit more of sort of the battle section, some of the phaser arrays and some of the skeletal supports. Stage 8 we get more of the ship's skeleton, more of the saucer skeleton there. Stage 9, more skeleton again. Oh, and stage 10 is right at the bottom, and it's just more skeletal supports with some extra cables for the lighting. So I'm not anticipating this being the longest of videos compared to the first two, but we'll wait and see, because I'm incompetent at times. I put the bridge on the wrong way around, so this could be long. But yeah, let's get going. So obviously start with stage 7. A few other things as well, perhaps leaning into the mundane. I now have a brand new tripod for my phone, which is no longer as flimsy as the previous one. After speaking to a friend, I decided against actually getting a new video camera, and instead I thought I'd just work on the setup I've got. So I actually now have a microphone, which I'm using now. I hope it sounds good. I guess we'll wait and see when I've done recording. I have tested it on a few short things, but the proof will be in the final bit of this. And we have a better tripod, which is a bit more stable. It also means I've got more room to maneuver here. So anyway, let's have a look. So what is stage 7? So stage 7 is the neck of the Enterprise D. It connects the saucer section to the engineering section. It's sort of it says here this vital link begins to take shape while more parts are added to the skeletal support of the saucer. So what we'll do, we'll open this, and hopefully this new microphone means you won't be picking up as much of the other sound. It'll hopefully just be more of my voice, which, you know, your mileage may vary on how you feel about my voice. What we after? We are after the neck phaser banks. So everything now seems to be coming in this sort of plastic wrapping. I think they had a few complaints about the delivery methods of some of the older parts. I don't know if that led to their decision to change it to this, but it is like that now, so that's all that matters. So what we've got So we've got our neck there. What we want to do, we want to take the neck phaser bank and push it into position on the battle section rear neck, slot the two springs onto the pegs projecting. So we've got some springs as well. 07F. Where are they? Yeah, looks like they're in the bag still. Okay, we'll get them out. Okay, this is going to be a potentially interesting one to put in. You all have seen in the past how I've struggled with the smaller components at times. I'll pop that out there. Yeah, there we go. There's your two springs there. There's nothing left in that bag, so we can just discard it. God, these are small. One, and there's the second. So what we want to do, so it just says to pop them onto the pegs. So we've got them there. You can see how small that spring is. One spring. And the two springs. Right, they're both on. So the next step, cover the springs with the neck phaser bank left base and fit it with the two AP screws. So what we'll do, we'll open up the screws first. Every time I do something on here, I'm learning little, I guess, techniques to get me more prepped next time. Because I know how fiddly some of these bits can be. So what we'll do is we'll take our screwdriver and we'll prep that with the screw. Oh, that is awkward. Yeah, that's oh, there we go. Right, we're in. Quickly. That's one in place. Ooh. That is that's two. There you go. Ooh, it's kind of pressable. It's tactile. Just make sure that is. Yep, right, okay, they're in. Wonderful. So there we go. That is now in. So what I guess we can do now is move on to the next step, which is step B. So what we do now is we bring back the skeleton from before. And there we have the skeleton. And we want 07A, which is the larger one out of this plastic bit. Quite weird, I actually just went to grab from my microphone there, forgot that I was wearing it. We just want to pop that in there. So we want the BM screws. We want 2 BM screws for this one, it looks like. So naturally I've grabbed 3, although the next step does require it as well. So what we'll do, we'll prepare that. We'll pop that into place. So this bit's a little bit awkward as well, because you're manoeuvring it and trying to hold it in place, and yet it doesn't always feel like it wants to stay. So we'll screw that in to place. That's one. And here comes number 2. So that's why I'm doing this. I guess for anyone else watching this, anyone else watching this, are you all collecting this as well? Are you interested? You know, what's been your experience so far with building it, if you are indeed collecting this as well? Quite intrigued to see what other people's experiences are. I do hang out on the Facebook group for this, and I've seen quite a few people building theirs. I've seen other people posting videos and such. I need to start checking some of them out, because obviously if I'm doing this, it seems only fair to do so as well. But yeah, I'm intrigued. And what are your plans for it when it's actually built as well? One of the other things I've kind of seen is people talking about modifying theirs. I've already seen a few people modifying it, actually, because one of the things you might have noticed when I was testing the lights is there's a little bit of light bleed on it, and I've seen some people actually modify it to try and eliminate that. Now, it's not something I'm going to try. I'm maintaining a few times that I'm very much an amateur when it comes to this sort of stuff. In fact, complete beginner. Gundam kits are more my sort of thing, and they don't really require the sort of. I'm not saying this is complicated, but I think there's a lot more fear with this one, because maybe the pricing for one, especially on my end, but yeah, I've heard of a few people modifying it, maybe changing the looks of the escape pods to kind of match up a bit more, because I think there's a few people have had issues with the way the escape pods look. That's not right at all. That's because I'm focusing so much on talking. There we go. Let's pop that in there. I realised as well that obviously by the time this video goes out, because I record these in advance, as you can imagine, but I'm recording this on the 1st of April, and I do believe, the 3rd of April, sorry, I believe it's First Contact Day tomorrow. I could be wrong on that, but, it's also Easter tomorrow. It won't be when this video goes out, of course, But did you do anything to mark First Contact Day? Did you do anything for Easter that was Star Trek related? Let me know in the comments. There we go, right. There we go, we've got a bit more of the skeleton done now. So that's stage 7 done. God, we got through the intro in stage 7 in 15 minutes. Must be a new record for me. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just going to clear up on top of here, and then we'll get straight in to stage 8. So here we go with stage 8, and what we have here, in this phase of the assembly, the second of the Enterprise D's many phaser banks will be fit into place, and the underlying structure, the saucer section, will double in size. Well, I'm looking forward to getting that skeleton built. So yeah, from that you can probably already guess what we're going to do here. We're going to fit the second phaser bank in there, which means springs again. That's cool, actually, you know, presses back in. So yeah, don't really need to talk about that too much, I think. What I've also done, I've also left out the spare screws from the last stage, just so we've got them there. That's what I'll do is we'll just open this up. And get straight into it. So yeah, this one is a very, very small stage. It seems to be just the phaser bank. And that extra bit of skeleton. I'm just getting in there slowly. Okay, there's your springs again. There's the phaser bank. So it's just exactly the same process. We are popping you in there. We are opening the packet of springs incredibly carefully. I'm being so, like, trying to be as careful as I can with these because, you know, I can probably get a replacement easily enough, but I don't want that faff. Oh, they're both joined together. That's annoying. So here we go. We've got one spring. Oh, that's rolling away. We've got 2 springs. And then it's just a matter of getting them locked into place again. So it is AP. So I've actually made a mistake there because I actually meant to open up the screws before, and I can actually see the pack of screws is still in there with the skeleton. This is why we have the spare from the previous one. So what I can do is quickly use that spare to get that into place. Very quickly. There, right, that's in place, that's secure. That is secure. We'll open up the other one, get the other pack of AP screws out. There we have them. So it's 3 in there. All we need is 1. Do. And in it goes. 2, 3. We've got them both in now. Look at that, that's really nice. I can pop that up there now. We've got the rest of these AP screws. I'm sure they will come in handy for something later on. And now we're back to the skeleton. So we need our BM screws for this one. So it kind of seems a bit obvious, but there was a little hint from the last issue that any sort of M screw is meant to be for metal, any sort of P base screw is meant to be for plastic. It seems so obvious when you say it like that, but for some reason I only didn't realise until I pointed it out. So here we go. We've got the skeleton is back. And we've got a brand new piece of skeleton to go with it. I'll pop that plastic down there. What they're going to do now is we're really going to start to see that saucer section take shape. This is actually really exciting seeing these particular parts, I think. There we go. So they are so that's going to be a bit easier to pop in, I think, now. So let's go. BM screw. Let's get that out. So we've popped that on. What we're going to do, let's start with that. In we go. Then we're going to open up the next pack of BM screws. And we're just going to do this carefully. We're actually going to fling the screw back onto the desk because that's what I do. Hopefully. That one is in now. Just get that one tightened a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so two more. One. And two. Yeah, so I don't quite know how frequent these videos are going to be. I will endeavour to get them up as soon as possible. What I tend to do is I tend to have ideas of the sort of content I'm going to upload to the channel. I'll try to upload... I did used to try to record a video once a week and upload whatever I was going to do at the weekend. I put it out on Mondays. But I kind of find that sometimes I like to sort of just record a few in a row, but I like to keep to that Monday. So I try to have some sort of schedule, making sure I only release one a week now. So I'm not quite sure how frequent these are going to be, but I am going to try and prioritise these particular ones over some of the other videos I do, because I kind of feel it would be a good thing to get these ones out as soon as possible, especially with them sort of arriving for other people around the same time. You know, kind of a timely thing. But there we go. That's the more of the skeleton up. So what I wonder is, I think I've got another bit of skeleton to do. So I wonder if we're going to see more of that. But there we go, that's stage 8 complete, and that took us about 9 minutes, very short and sweet. So there we go, there's stage 9. So what I'll do is I'll join you again in a moment for that. Okay, so we've got stage 9 now. So here we go. As the saucer skeleton continues to expand, an intricate arrangement of deck windows start to take shape, along with the working lights that will bring your Enterprise D to life. So what we're going to do here, yeah, it's exactly as I thought. We're going to get the next bit of skeleton out, and we're going to attach it to what we've got so far. So we kind of have it starting to sort of take shape. So let's get that out. And what we've got here as well is it looks like we've got more lights to fit, which might actually be ones going into the sort of battle section, I guess we're calling it. So there's the plastic screws, and there's the screws for the metal, and there's some cabling, which I think will go into that. I haven't quite checked yet, but we'll get to that when we get to it. For now, I'm just keen to do one little bit at a time rather than rush. So what I'll do, we'll pop this out of the plastic. Yeah. One pop come out, there we go. Cast that down there. And what we've got yeah. For a moment I thought I had messed that up, but it's just the way I had it all held. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going for there, and you can kind of see it on the thing below. So it's starting to already get fairly large. So we've got 2 BM screws, which I will just empty out onto my hand. Well, that one's pretty eager. So let's just get that straight in. I like building the skeleton. This is quite relaxing. The problem is now I've seen the light, the cable bit and the lights. That's where I start to get the fear. TM. I don't know why, I've never really been too dexterous when it comes to tying stuff. Even like old Lego stuff. Like I used to have an amazing Lego pirate ship which had like all the rigging and stuff like that on it. This is back in 92, 93, I want to say. Definitely early 90s. And I was very, very young then, naturally. But I could never get the knots or anything like that. I even had like an Action Man figure, which you know, it was a zip wire one, and that required knots as well, and I was just rubbish at it. I could tie my shoelaces, but I was never going to be in the Boy Scouts with my knot tying abilities. Right, we'll get these 2 metal screws out. Come on, you know how you want it. There we go. Yeah, so pop that in there. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, if you are building this as well, I really do want to see or hear about your efforts with it and any difficulties you're having, or you know, if you're enjoying building it or your plans for it. Very, very keen to do that, to be like a part of like this sort of community. It's kind of cool knowing that there's a group of people doing that. It kind of motivates me to do it more, to be honest with you, knowing that there are others doing it. And at the end, you know, we're going to see like a whole fleet of Enterprise Ds. There you go, that's not even fitting on the camera. I've had an alert there about me battery dying. I'll have to plug my phone in. But let's see if we can get through stage 9. Come on, quickly. Stage 9, next step. Okay, stage 9. So what we do, we want to position it on a flat surface. And then we want to remove the windows from their sprues and slot them into place as shown. Note that the window pieces are not yet secure. Okay, so this should be... So this is something we saw in the last video. And this is going to probably be the first kind of jump cut, because this is where the steps get a little bit tedious. What I can do is I can show putting a few of them in. But what we've got basically... Once I can get them out of the bag. We've got these. And you can see sort of that's made up of several components. The middle, these are all the windows. And we've got clear ones, and we've got darker ones, you know, to reflect whether lights are on or not. And what that's going to do is, when the ship is fully built, it's going to look amazing when it's lit up. And if you do want to see an example of how this looks when it's lit up, check out the previous video for that. Like I say, at the moment I'm waiting for a replacement battery box, so I won't be able to show these being tested, unfortunately. But what I'll do is I'll kind of show you the process for 1 or 2 of them here, and then we'll do a jump cut to the entire section being done. Because as you can see, the next section will require me to sort of concentrate a bit more, because I've got to put the lights into that thing, then I've got to screw it down. So what we'll do a jump cut, and I'll see you just after I pop a couple of these in. So here you go, you can sort of see the process. So we have it set up like that, and what we do is we take these. Now that won't even focus, but you can just kind of see how small that is. And yeah, immensely irritating and fiddly to put in. So I'll get that done, and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so welcome back everyone, and as you can see, we have now done the windows for stage 9. So you can see there we've got the 2 cables coming out here for the lights, and then we turn it around and you can see, hopefully you can see that the windows are indeed in there. So the one thing I'll say about this stage, this was immensely difficult. There was perhaps a little bit of bad language associated with it. It was incredibly fiddly to not only like... So basically when you slot these in, these just kind of sit there. They need something else there to secure them into place. When you put these in, you put these on like in fairly lightly, and even now you can kind of see that that one is still a little bit like wobbly in place, because it was so hard to kind of navigate pushing this down while making sure these stayed in the appropriate slot, while also making sure you weren't nudging these at all. Incredibly difficult. And now I've got to do it again for stage 10. So let's just briefly have a look at what stage 10 is. So stage 10, continue to develop the structural underpinnings of your Enterprise D, and then use the window placement skills you perfected in the previous phase. Yeah, about that hero collector, I have some issues. But yes, so we got there eventually with this. I'm not immensely happy with it, but you know, because I don't really feel like it should be wobbling about quite as much as that, but I'm not really willing to keep messing about with it anymore. It's in there, and that's what matters for me for now when it's not coming out. So what we'll do, we'll get the next bit of the structure down for stage 10, and then I'll show you it with the other side of windows in there, and then we can wrap this one up. So yep, stage 10's pieces, very much the kind of the same as stage 9 really. The window, you've got the windows, you've got the cabling, and you've got some we've got some extra parts for the skeletal work here. So what we've got that, and we have this here. So I suppose at this point again, if you are building this at home, I'd really like to hear your thoughts on that. I'd just like to say, did you have the same kind of struggles that I did? Have you got any advice for it, that kind of thing? Because, like I said, I found that incredibly difficult, and I can definitely see that being a bit of a... Well, I'm hoping there's maybe not too many more sections like that to come. But I guess we'll wait and see. Let's open this up. We're going to need more BM screws. We've got 3 there from the previous bits, but yeah, we can just kind of skip through that. Yeah, so for this one we've got more lights to put on, unfortunately. It's a shame because when it lights up it's going to look fantastic, but I also really do not like fitting the lights. So we'll just get... do we actually... I think we actually have 4 in there. Oh no, we've only got 3. Let's get 1 more for it. And then we can call this video done. So what have we got to do here? So we've got the larger one there. So this is getting hard to keep this one in shot at times because of the nature of it. But what we want to do, we want to have it fit there. So we'll flip it over and I will try my best to hold it in place while we screw that one in. See, this is the part I like. I like this bit. I don't like fitting the lights. Do, 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 do. Right, that's that bit done. Next bit is just kind of looks like that's just below it. That's incredibly easy. Yeah, I kind of feel like we've sped through this particular one. I suppose because a lot of it's been this skeletal structure. But the skeleton looks really cool. I cannot wait till we get to the point where we actually fit the rest of the saucer section to it. I think I've seen a few people sort of skip ahead a little bit. I daren't do that because the idea of it frightens me. There we go. There we go. And make sure it's down. Okay. There we go. We have more of the skeleton. And what I'll do is, just so you can get a better idea of the scale, I'll lay all these parts out and pop them in. Now, for the next part, more windows, more cabling, and then we should be done. So I'm going to get that there. Then I'm going to jump cut. So I shall see you all again in what will be a torturous 15-20 minutes for me. Probably about 3 seconds for you. Okay, so here we are at the end of stage 10. Now the first thing you might notice is my desk looks a little bit different. That's because when I tried to record this part earlier, the audio didn't pick up properly. So I've had to re-record it in the morning, and my desk is now set up for sort of computer usage. But all I had to do was have a look at the parts. So we've got the end of the little battle bridge section. We've got the LEDs in, we've got the panel down, we've got all of the windows in there. This part wasn't quite as difficult as the left hand side. I'm not quite sure why. It might just be because doing the left hand side gave me a bit of a few sort of like internal tricks, like bending the cables a little bit to get a bit more secure, but you know, we got there much smoother. The other thing we did was we built up more of the ship's skeleton, not too much, but just these panels there. And as you've seen earlier, I've popped in an image of the ship's skeleton to kind of show you how big this is all together. And what I will do as well is I will pop in an image now showing all of the parts we've constructed so far in the first 10 stages, I guess just to kind of give you an overview of what we have so far. So with that said, this is a good place to end the video. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, that sort of thing. Go check out the other videos on the channel as well. We do a lot of we have a lot of unboxings on there, mostly Evangelion related stuff, because that's one of my biggest passions and that's the sort of stuff I collect. We've done quite a few retro video game things. Most recently we've done a feature on the Sega Dreamcast, just kind of having a look at a few games there in the history of the console. We've also covered the Sega Saturn and the Sega Mega Drive, as well as having a look at an Amiga 600 and an Amiga CD32. So yeah, do go check them out. Like I say, if you're building this as well, please do let me know your thoughts on it and your plans for any modifications. And until next time, yeah, that's it really. I haven't got a good outro for this. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.